I'm not going to buy the S23 Plus, but you can. And I have the S22 Plus right here because I want to have a conversation about it. So the S23 Plus is not going to be a bad phone. And I want to put some context, put some parentheses around this and talk about it because I know people are going to buy it. Now, I am very adamant about not buying it because I think that Samsung is getting away with ripping you off, charging you $1,000 for a phone that really is about a $799 phone. Now, does that make it a bad phone? No, but there's just so much more that you could get for the money, or much less money. And that's where I'm kind of at with this video. But millions of people are going to buy it. Millions of people bought this one. I bought it so I could cover it. I'm probably not going to cover the S23 Plus. So if that's going to hurt your feelings, I can give you some recommendations, a good referral to another guy who's probably going to review the phone. But here's the thing. Samsung makes really good phones. Samsung arguably is the face of Android. They make very, very good products. They're reliable. You get 4 years of software updates, 5 years of security patches. You get a good camera. You get the best processor of the year when it comes out. Top of the line, pretty much everything. Where I get off on not really liking, well, let's put it bluntly, I hate the phone for what it stands for, not because it's a bad phone to use on a daily basis. The S22 Plus, it left a lot to be desired. If you put it up next to the S22 Ultra, you don't get the 108 megapixel camera, you don't get the Quad HD Plus resolution, you don't get the macro capability, you don't get as good of a telephoto, you don't get the better selfie camera, you don't get the S Pen, you don't get the bigger battery. There's a lot of stuff you don't get. And you don't get the better screen that takes the refresh rate down much lower and saves you on battery. All that stuff. But if you look at other phones, you get pretty much all of those things. If you look at the Pixel 7 Pro, Quad HD Plus resolution, 120 hertz refresh rate. You get the best camera system you can get in the United States. 5,000 milliamp battery, bigger screen, macro capabilities, all those great things. So why would you pay an extra like $200, $250 to get an S23 Plus when it comes out over something like a Pixel 7 Pro, especially when it's on sale? Normally $899, so that puts it at about $100 MSRP less, but with basically S23 Ultra caliber features. Or if you want to go with something a little bit less, that's going to give you a 1080p screen, 90 hertz refresh rate. You still get a nice screen. You still get the best-in-class camera system. You could get a Pixel 7 for $599, and it's been on sale for $499 out the wazoo for the last couple of months. So just placing some of those things into context. Also, we've got the OnePlus 11 that's going to be coming out right after we get the announcement for the S23 Plus and Ultra. And I can't say anything, but it's going to have a good price. Just going to put that out there. Hopefully hopefully nobody takes me off the list for that. But I think people are going to be surprised with the OnePlus 11. And I think it's going to be great competition for the S23 Plus. So, moving on from that, I just want to talk briefly and get on with my point for this. So the S23 Plus, it's going to be a very good phone. It's going to have a 1080p screen. It's going to have a 50 megapixel camera, probably even the same sensor that's in the S22 Plus, also in the Z Fold 4, very capable. I've been even impressed in some certain situations with taking pictures with it. Very good camera. It's going to have a slightly bigger battery, 4,700 milliamps. It's going to have the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2, which I've been singing its praises for quite a while now. And now that you guys know that I have the OnePlus 11, I can tell you one of the reasons why I'm excited about the Snapdragon 8 Generation 2 is because I've been using it. It's good. It's really good. So, it's going to be a good phone. And if you go buy one, you're probably going to be happy with it. And I know some folks who don't like the bigger screen. You get a 6.6-inch screen, nice thin body, all that great stuff. They're going to take away this camera bar back on the back, so it's going to look a lot more like an iPhone, so that might make some people happy too. But overall, the nice thing that you get about the S22 Plus, big screen, 6.6-inch screen, going to get the same thing with the S23 Plus, a much better battery than you get with, let's say, the S22 had, or the S23 is going to have, and you're going to have a probably just a very good experience. But it's not because it offers a good experience that I have problems with it and I try to steer people away from it. It's not because people aren't happy with it. It's not because you couldn't use this and have an enjoyable experience. It's because I feel like you're getting ripped off. And that's pretty much my whole point of the matter. Samsung took all the good features and put them in the Ultra, but then they took the Ultra away from us and turned it into the Note. So you basically can buy the Note, or you can buy a dumbed down S23 Plus when it gets here and pay $1,000 for it. There are phones from Xiaomi that are better for less money. There's phones from Google for less money. There's phones from Motorola for less money. There's phones with so many different brands that bring so much more to the table for much less money, and also have pretty good reputability, have good customer support, have good long-term support, have lots of good things going for them. And that's where I get hung up on really not recommending it. Now, the other thing is we look at the S23. The S23, it offers a little bit different experience. I don't mind so much it has a 1080p screen. Why? Because it's going to have a 6.1 inch screen. Going to a 6.6 inch screen, you want to have a higher resolution. You want to have better pixel density, so everything looks better on the phone. I just feel that it should be there. You should have better camera capabilities. If you're paying $1,000, you should have the best. I don't know where we got off on this and where we got sidetracked to where we're having a $1,000 phone that doesn't have the best in it. Why do you have to pay $1,200 to get the Ultra and to get the extra stuff thrown in there like the S Pen and the curved screen that people hate so much apparently, and some other stuff? Like, why do you got to pay more to get yourself into a phone you don't necessarily want just so you can have the best? And I still maintain that Samsung should have a non-Note, and I hate saying this because like it's the Ultra, it's the S23 Ultra, but really it's the Note. Not everybody likes the Note. And I like the Note just fine. I like a lot of stuff that it has to offer, but we're talking about a $1,200 phone here. $1,000 phone. I remember we got to $1,000. We got the $999 with the iPhone 10, and then the Note, the Note 10 Plus right behind that was about $1,000. I think it was like $929. I think they priced it just a little less, if I remember correctly, but it had everything. And then we got the S20 Ultra, S21 Ultra. They had everything. Well, you had to pay a little bit more, but they had everything. So now that's kind of where we're at. We have this kind of, it's like an odd duck because it's got all the stuff that you would expect from a big phone minus the nice enhancements that really make it a flagship level experience. Again, it'll be good. It's something you can use. It's something that you'll probably enjoy if you pick it up. You may even get a good deal, which makes you even happier about it. And it'll be a good phone for 3, 4, 5 years. So I just wanted to try and balance this out a little bit. I know I say a lot of bad things about it. I know I have a lot of angst towards the device itself, but it's not because you might not like it. It's not because it won't perform well. It's not because it won't be reliable. It's not because it doesn't have a lot of good things going for it. It's just missing a lot of stuff that I really think should be there for a $1,000 phone, and that's what frustrates me, and that's why you deserve better. You deserve better. And there's some good Motorola phones, good Pixel phones, there's a lot of different options out there. And if you're curious about it, maybe I'll make a video when it comes out, best S23 Plus alternatives. And then I'll show you all the stuff that I think is a much, much better phone that you can get for the money. But if you go buy one, if you want one, if you like Samsung, if you only use Samsung, if you trust them, if you think that's what's best for you, if you walk into a carrier, it catches your eye, you like the way that it looks, if you're perfectly happy with having a 80% flagship experience on your phone and you get a good trade-in deal, let's say they give it to you for free for 3 years, those are a lot of wins. Like, there's a lot of ways you can find your way into this device. That's a win for you personally, and it's going to be a good experience for the long haul. And one thing I do like, I will applaud, it seems like we're getting the same selfie camera in the S23, the Plus, and the Ultra this time. So this last go around with the S22 series, the 22 and the Plus had the dumbed down selfie camera, and then you got the really, really good, I think, best selfie camera of last year, the 40 megapixel in the Ultra. So it looks like they're all going to get the same selfie camera across the board. So that means we're getting a new selfie camera for one, not going to be an older one. We're getting a new selfie camera, and it should be better. So I think that's a big win there, especially for folks who like to take selfies. You like to do the TikTok videos, the tiki-takis, as some people like to call them, YouTube short form media, all that good stuff. So there are some ways that you can look at it. You can have a good experience. It might be the perfect phone for you, and you might be perfectly happy with it. But I just like people to know what you're going to get going into it, why I have these issues with it, and what I think is better out there for you, because there's just a lot of options that are significantly cheaper. Like me personally, if I were going to choose one, I would not buy the S23 Plus. I would just go buy a Pixel 7. Wait for it to get on sale for $499 and buy that sucker, and I'd be really happy with that. Or if I really wanted the Pro experience, I wanted to get some of those extra features, but I don't want to get the S23 Ultra, I'd go with the Pixel 7 Pro. There's some good stuff out there, folks. So I just wanted to make you guys aware of that, let you know, look, I don't want to try and make anyone feel bad for making a purchase on the S22 Plus. I don't want somebody to sit there and go, you know, Tech Odyssey said absolutely don't buy this phone. I want to tell you, ultimately, it's your wallet, it's your decision, it's what you're happy with. If you find yourself in there and you go, man, I really like the way that S23 Plus is looking good, go for it. Go for whatever works for you in your budget, makes you happy. You can't buy a bad phone, really. You cannot buy a bad flagship or expensive caliber phone in 2023. They're so good. The cameras are so similar. The performance, mostly the same processors in a lot of them. Samsung makes most of the displays in a lot of these phones. So it's hard to go wrong. You throw a rock out there, you're going to hit very similar phones. They're going to give you a good experience. It's not like 2010, 2012 when it's like, well, this phone's going to be good for 6 months and then it's going to crap out on me. We're not in the dark times anymore. There's a lot of good options there. And I just want to let you know, if you do want to go buy this phone, it's something that if you're happy with it, go for it. I will support you 100%. But I just like to inform people on why I think there are other options that are better out there for the money. And I think Samsung is really getting away with highway robbery with high profit margins, selling you inferior, sometimes older, not quite top shelf product stuff that goes in that phone. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please go to the comment section. I'll get back with you. Also, if you are looking to get one of these phones, they're still doing the reservation for the pre-order all the way up until basically the morning of the 1st. I think like midnight or something. But link in the description. If you decide that you want to reserve one, put in your email, put in your name, basically. $50 of free Samsung credit. That's a great deal. If you decide you want to reserve two, they'll give you $100 of Samsung credit to go. If you pre-order it from Samsung, you can use that to get all sorts of things, because undoubtedly there's going to be more Samsung credit if you pre-order. So you can combine all that together, get yourself a watch, get yourself some phone chargers, some phone cases, maybe put it towards a tablet. Who knows? The world is your oyster. Use the pre-order, the Samsung credit however you want. But I just want to let you know, once the phone actually gets announced, the actual reserve your pre-order stuff, that extra $50 or $100 of credit is going to go away. So make sure you secure yours. Get it now. And I'm going to shut up. So that's all I got. If you enjoyed the video, if you found this helpful, please hit the like and the subscribe button, little notification bell, all that great stuff, especially if you want updates when new videos come out. As always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.